Thanks for staying with us. You're watching WION The World this one. I'm Adhya Chuneja and this is Speed News. Let's start with all the stories making headlines today. Israel's military said it had struck several targets at a petrochemical complex in Mahashahar in southwestern Iran. Earlier, Iranian state TV reported explosions in the cities of Tehran, Tabriz and Isfahan. This hours after Iran said it fired multiple waves of missiles at northern Israel, the first barrage since an April ceasefire took hold in the war in West Asia that completed 100 days on Sunday. The strikes come despite US President Trump calling Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, advising him against retaliation to make sure the three sides could salvage a deal. But Trump appeared to downplay the strikes, telling Axios that it did not hurt anyone. Iran is drafting regulations to charge vessels transiting the Strait of Hormuz for maritime security and environmental services. The country's semi-official Tasnim news agency quoted Iranian Vice President and head of the Department of Environment in its report. Well, the agency reported that the preliminary draft has been completed recently, though the fee rates and specific collection mechanisms have yet to be determined. The United States is urging members of the UN Nuclear Watchdog's board to support a resolution demanding answers from Iran about its nuclear program. But the measure would require Tehran to explain the fate of its bombed nuclear sites and the enriched uranium stored there. The draft resolution circulated ahead of this week's quarterly meeting of the IAEA's 35-nation board, which risks further complicating ongoing talks between Washington and Tehran. Well, Iran has traditionally reacted strongly to resolutions critical of its nuclear program, often viewing them as politically motivated. Donald Trump said that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will have no choice but to accept any deal the US negotiates with Iran, but because Trump added that it's him who calls the shots and not Netanyahu. Trump spoke shortly after Iran launched a salvo of ballistic missiles at Israel over its attacks in Lebanon in the most serious breach of the ceasefire that was struck in early April. Iran's Revolutionary Guards targeted the headquarters of terrorist groups in Iraqi Kurdistan. Well, Iran's IRNA news agency posted on Telegram, and I quote them here, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps has targeted the headquarters of terrorist groups in Suleimania, Iraq. At least 8 deaths have been reported in Philippines after 7.8 magnitude earthquake hit the southern part of the country. The earthquake has sparked tsunami warnings across the region. Authorities in the Philippines and Indonesia urged residents in affected coastal regions to move to higher ground immediately. The first quake hit at a depth of 35 kilometers, which is about 24 kilometers west of Mindanao Island. The Pacific Tsunami Warning Center, which has said in a notice that tsunami waves were possible along the coast of the Philippines, Indonesia, Palau, Taiwan and Papua New Guinea. Japanese authorities separately issued a tsunami advisory for swatches of its Pacific coast, projecting waves of up to 1 meter to hit different regions.
Bantay mo, anak. Bantay mo diyan, eh.
In a video shared by Philippines' Mahayahe Elementary School on social media, school children were seen screaming and crying during the quake when a canopy roof collapsed. School authorities said no injuries were reported and that classes were suspended after the necessary safety assessment. The quake also set off a 1-meter tsunami that washed ashore on nearby coasts. The Japanese authorities issued a tsunami advisory along swatches of its Pacific coast after a major earthquake off the Philippines was detected. The Japan Meteorological Agency said that tsunamis of up to 1 meter or 3 feet were projected to hit different regions. Five people were wounded on Sunday in a stabbing at New York's Penn Station, according to the city fire department, which said all victims were transported to hospital and the attacker was in custody. The New York Fire Department said the victims were all civilians, including one person with serious injuries. The circumstances of the stabbing were not immediately clear, but the incident occurred at a busy New York transportation center shortly before two major sporting events take place in the metropolitan area, including the World Cup soccer tournament. Chinese President Xi Jinping said that Beijing's friendship with Pyongyang was invincible and pledged closer cooperation. The statement comes as Xi is on a visit to North Korea for the first time in 7 years. China has been North Korea's main trading partner by far for decades and a key source of diplomatic and economic support. It is the only country with an official binding military alliance with China. Britain, France and Germany have backed Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's proposal for direct talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Well, this development comes following Zelensky's meeting with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, French President Emmanuel Macron and German Chancellor Friedrich Merz at 10 Downing Street. According to a joint statement issued by leaders following defense talks, 3 European leaders endorsed Zelensky's push for a face-to-face meeting and urged progress towards a ceasefire. Ukraine and its European allies have outlined 5 key principles for securing a just and lasting peace with Russia. Proposals include an immediate ceasefire, launch of negotiations based on current battlefield situation, and strong security guarantees for Ukraine. A Ukrainian drone strike on a passenger train killed the assistant driver and wounded the main driver. Detailing the incident, the Moscow-installed head of the Crimea region said that no passengers were harmed in the attack. UK Deputy Prime Minister David Lammy has said he told the US Vice President J.D. Vance he was wrong to blame the murder of the British teenager Henry Nowak on what he called the mass invasion of migrants. Speaking to Sky News, Lammy said he spoke to Vance in a phone call in which he told him UK's democratic process is working well and that he was wrong in his comment about the teenager's murder. A new shipment of humanitarian aid from Mexico arrived in Cuba. The sixth shipment from Mexico since February comes against the backdrop of mounting crisis that the country is grappling with amid the U.S. blockade on oil imports. Sweden is set to ban mobile phones in schools from the next academic year as part of a broad reversal on the use of screens in classrooms. The country's centre-right coalition government has since 2023 pursued a policy that prioritizes more reading time and less screen time, particularly among preschool students, favouring books and other more traditional learning tools. Thousands of people in Albania took to the streets for the 8th day in a row while they protested a massive new coastal development project linked to Jared Kushner, son-in-law of US President Donald Trump. Despite the major public backlash, Albanian Prime Minister strongly defends the project while he argues that the luxury resort will boost the country's economy and turn it into a top-tier global tourist destination. The Bangladesh High Court has issued a rule asking why the illegal trade of horse meat in Bangladesh should not be banned. Well, the court also directed the authorities to formulate guidelines and an action plan within 90 days to prevent such incidents. The order was passed on Sunday by a High Court bench comprising Justice Ahmed Sohail and Justice Fatima Anwar, following a preliminary hearing on a writ petition. Chaos unfolded at Delhi's Indira Gandhi International Airport on Sunday evening after 3 parked Air India aircraft were rendered unserviceable when ground support equipment collided with them amid strong winds and heavy rain. The incident took place at around 4:40 p.m. IST in the aircraft parking bay near Terminal 2 of the airport. According to reports, adverse weather conditions caused the ground equipment to strike the parked aircraft, resulting in damage. No injuries were reported as no personnel were present in the parking area at the time of the incident. The CPIM has said that the DMK-led Secular Progressive Alliance no longer exists and that the party is currently not part of any alliance with the DMK. Speaking to reporters, CPIM State Secretary P. Shanmugam said the left party would, however, continue to work with the DMK on issues related to Tamil Nadu's welfare and rights whenever there is common ground. Shanmugam also criticized DMK President M.K. Stalin and AIA-DMK General Secretary Eddapadi K. Palaniswamy for their remarks that the Vijay-led government would not survive beyond 1 or 2 months, describing the comments as irresponsible. With southwest monsoon rains picking up in Karnataka, the Indian Meteorological Department issued red alerts for the coastal districts of Karnataka. Alert has been sounded in 5 districts including Dakshina Kannada and Udupi. A smart household robo is undergoing real-world testing in Wuhan, China, as developers look to bring advanced home assistance closer to everyday use. The robo, said to have intelligence comparable to a 3 or 4-year-old child, can interact through voice commands and help with tasks such as dishwashing, table clearing, laundry folding, and meal preparation. Unlike laboratory tests, the robot is being evaluated inside a real apartment filled with furniture, obstacles, and complex layouts. China's Shenzhou 23 crew has now fully taken over operations aboard the Tiangong space station following the departure of the Shenzhou 21 astronauts. The 3 astronauts have successfully adapted to the microgravity environment and are continuing their mission tasks according to schedule. A key recent development is the start of a new phase of scientific research, with the crew set to carry out more than 100 experiments in areas including space life sciences, material science, microgravity physics, and new space technologies. The silent ransom group extortion gang is actively targeting U.S. law firms and professional services organizations in social engineering attacks that often lead to data theft within hours of initial contact, which is according to a new report by cybersecurity firm Mandiant. According to Mandiant, the hackers use invoice-themed phishing emails followed by phone calls in which they impersonate corporate IT support staff. Victims are then tracked into joining remote support sessions through tools such as Microsoft Teams or Zoom and installing remote access software that gives attackers entry into company networks. Asian markets stumbled sharply on Monday in early trade as a global tech sell-off gathered pace. South Korea's Kospi plunged more than 6.8%, while Japan's Nikkei fell over 3%. Investors pulled back from AI-driven tech stocks after a strong U.S. jobs report fueled expectations of higher interest rates. Meanwhile, rising tensions in West Asia pushed oil prices higher. Markets are now focused on U.S. inflation data and major central bank decisions later this week. Oil prices surged more than 3% on Monday as Iran and Israel exchanged strikes, raising fears of a wider conflict in West Asia. Brent climbed above $96 a barrel, while crude rose to nearly $94. The spike followed Israeli strikes on military targets in Iran and Tehran's warning that U.S. assets could become legitimate targets. Investors are closely watching the fragile ceasefire and the risk of further disruptions to the global energy supplies. Gold prices extended losses on Monday as investors bet on higher U.S. interest rates. Spot gold fell 0.2% after plunging nearly 3% on Friday, its sharpest drop in months. A strong U.S. jobs report and persistent inflation concerns have boosted expectations that the Federal Reserve could raise rates again. Christian Eriksen collapsed during Denmark's friendly against Ukraine, but the Danish Football Association has said that he is conscious now. The game was stopped on 65 minutes when he collapsed and abandoned shortly after, with the 34-year-old able to walk from the field. The midfielder was fitted with an implantable ICD, a type of pacemaker, after suffering a cardiac arrest during a Euro 2020 match against Finland in the year 2021. The ICD allowed Eriksen to resume his career at both club and international level. Anti-World Cup activists gathered outside Mexico City's stadium to protest disappearances and what they described as territorial dispossession that Mexico's government sought to concede during the 2026 World Cup. According to the organizers, intervening in the ads was a way of stripping away what they called the cosmetic image surrounding the tournament and showing the reality they said many foreign visitors did not see. The protest took place outside Mexico City's iconic stadium, Estadio Azteca, where the World Cup matches are due to be played, including the opening match on June 11th. The live-action adaptation of Masters of the Universe, which is a He-Man reboot, has opened to $54.3 million worldwide. The movie was made on a budget of $170 million, and as per trade analysts, the film failed to find its footing and connect with audiences, resulting in one of the most high-profile box office misfires of the year. Backrooms has emerged as a massive success story for creator-driven indie horror. Directed by 20-year-old Kane Parsons on a micro-budget of only $10 million, the film shattered expectations with an impressive $212.6 million worldwide collection. The movie has cemented its status as an exceptionally profitable venture. Curry Barker's Obsession has become a phenomenal viral sensation driven largely by word of mouth. Made on a shoestring budget of less than $1 million, the film has incredibly grossed $148 million globally. Demonstrating rare week-over-week box office growth, Obsession has shown that engaging concepts and strong audience reactions can generate massive returns without expensive marketing campaigns. The legacy sequel, The Devil Wears Prada 2, successfully capitalized on immense nostalgia. The movie, which released in May, has now globally grossed $647.7 million against a $100 million budget. The film has delivered record-breaking numbers for its leading actors, while also revitalizing interest in the 2006 original. The Antoine Fuqua-directed Michael Jackson biopic Michael has been an unstoppable global juggernaut this summer. With a production budget of $155 million, the highly anticipated film has now earned an astonishing $888 million worldwide, securing its place as one of the highest-grossing biopics in cinema history. Ram Charan and Janhvi Kapoor's sports action drama Peddi has taken the box office by storm. In India and worldwide, it is dominating the current theatrical landscape, driven primarily by its Telugu release. The multilingual spectacle grossed 157.15 crore rupees from India, which is nearly $18.9 million. And globally, the movie has earned 233.2 crore rupees, which is nearly $28 million.